Chapter 11, Areas of Polygons. Today we're going to cover section 11.5, day 2. Objectives will be to know and use the formulas for the circumferences and areas of circles. The following menu shows pizzas sold in 3 different sizes. If you bought a cheese pizza, which size would be the best value? So if I look over here, here are my 3 different sizes and costs for cheese pizzas. So if I want to find the best value, I want to find the best price or the lowest price per inch squared. So I eventually want to take the price and divide it by how many square inches the pizza is. So there's a 9, a 12, and a 14-inch pizza. And when they talk about pizzas, the sizes are the diameters. So let's do them one at a time. So if I do the 9-inch pizza, I know the price, let's figure out the area. So the area is going to equal pi times radius squared. And if it's a 9-inch diameter, I say half of that, so 4.5-inch radius. And I'm going to have to go to decimals for this. So I need pi times 4.5 squared. So pi, 3.14 we're going to use, times 4.5 times 4.5. And I get that the area is 63.585. So now if I want to find the cost, I want to take the price, which for a 9-inch pizza is $8.15, and divide it by the area, 63.585, and let's see what we get for price per square inch. So my $8.15 divided by 63.585. And since we are talking about money, I'm going to round to the nearest penny, which would be 13 cents. So the 9-inch pizza is 13 cents per square inch. Now let's look and see what happens if you buy the 12-inch pizza. Now the area of the 12-inch pizza is going to be pi times the radius. Well, the radius is half the diameter, so that's going to be 6. So let's see what the area of that pizza is going to be. So I know I'm going to take pi, 3.14, times 6 squared is 36, and I get 113.04. And now I need to figure out the cost. So the cost for this one is $10.45. I'm going to divide it by the area of 113.04, and that'll give us our cost per square inch. $10.45 divided by 113.04. And if I round this off to the nearest cent, is 9 cents per square inch. Now let's look at the 14-inch pizza. I know the area is going to be pi times the radius, and if it's a 14-inch pizza, the radius is going to be 7. So pi times 7 squared. Let's grab our calculator. So 3.14 times 7 squared is a 49, gives me 153.86. Now to figure out the cost. The price of a 14-inch pizza is $12.50. I'm going to divide it by the area of 153.86. So $12.50 divided by 153.86, rounding it off to our nearest penny again, is going to give me 8 cents. So looking for the best buy out of the group, the best buy is going to be the 14-inch pizza at 8 cents per square inch. What is the circumference of the Earth at the equator if the radius of the Earth is 6,400 kilometers? Use pi equals 3.14. Well, I know that circumference is pi times diameter, or 2 pi r. And in this case, we're given the radius, so I can just substitute in. So I'm going to get 2 times pi, 3.14, times the radius of 6,400. And let's see what we get. 2 times 3.14 times 6,400 is 40,192. And that's going to be in kilometers. If a bicycle tire has a diameter of 28 inches, how far does it travel in 1,000 revolutions of the tire? Use pi equals 22/7. So the first thing I have to think of is I have this tire, and I know it's going to go through 1,000 revolutions. So I really need to figure out what's the distance for 1 revolution. So I'm really looking for what's the circumference of this tire. That'll give me 1 path going all the way around, and then I can just take that circumference and multiply it by 1,000. So getting my circumference. I know circumference is pi times diameter, or 2 pi times the radius. And in this case, they give us the diameter. So right to the diameter, I'm going to use pi, and in this case, 22/7. I'm going to multiply that by the diameter of 28 inches. And I notice that I can reduce in here. 7 goes into 7 once and into 28 4 times. So if I multiply across, 22 times 4 is 88 inches. And if I go through 1,000 revolutions, I'm going to take 88 inches times 1,000 revolutions, which is going to be 88,000 inches. Using the same bike as above, how far will a rider travel during a 6-minute ride if the tires are turning at a speed of 2 revolutions per second? Use pi equals 3.14. So 2 things change. One, for pi I'm using 3.14 instead of 22/7. And the second one is they don't come right out and tell me how many revolutions that they're going to be. So I really have to think that there are 2 revolutions per second. And this person is going to be traveling for 6 minutes. And I know that there are 60 seconds in 1 minute. And this person is going to be traveling for 6 minutes. And I notice that if I start to go through here and reduce, that my seconds cancel, my minutes cancel, and the only thing that's left is going to be revolutions. So I can multiply. 2 times 60 is 120. 120 times 6 is 720 revolutions. And now if this is similar to the previous problem, I need to find the circumference times the number of revolutions. And in this case, the circumference, I'm still going to use pi times diameter. Except for in this problem, I'm using 3.14 times my diameter is 28 inches. So that's going to give me a circumference of 3.14 times 28, which is 87.92. And now I'm just going to take that number and multiply by 720 revolutions to get my overall distance. So times 720 is 63,302.4. And this is in inches.